wave of Roma migration into Western Europe. And one of those families had a son, they called Jean Reinhardt. That was his official name, but when they got back to the encampment outside town, they always used his Roma name, which was Django, which means I awake in Romany. And his story is incredible. He got his hand terribly burned in the fire. He lost the use of the fourth and fifth fingers. All the great Django solos that you may have heard are played with thumb fretting the bottom string and the second and third finger doing all those incredible runs just with these three fingers. And you know, his story is too long to go into, but there's a coda to the story, which I think would resonate here in Tennessee. Django died of a cerebral hemorrhage one morning in 1953, just as he was finishing his coffee, fishing rod in hand. He was 43. He had lived the ultimate Roma life, running musical rings around the gace, that's non-Roma, us, while embracing every cliche, ignoring contracts, taking months learning to scrawl his signature, spending his substantial earnings the instant they crossed his palm, buying one new automobile after another, then wrecking them while driving without a license. During his tour with Duke Ellington, with his one visit to America, was in 1947 with the Ellington Orchestra, but they never recorded because the Union had a ban on recording at that time. During the Ellington tour, he once interrupted a rehearsal, claiming to hear an error in one of the horn parts that no one else noticed. To everyone's astonishment, the Duke's charts were wrong, and Django was right. In Reinhardt's charred hands, the oppressed cultures of African Americans and Roma were joined. He was proud of his heritage, but aspired to blackness, worshiping first Armstrong and Ellington, then Parker and Gillespie as gods. He would have been gratified had he known that west to east wasn't the only direction influence flowed across the North Atlantic. A young American guitarist stumbled on some Hot Club 78s in 1947 as he was starting to explore the instrument's possibilities. Quote, Django's ideas lit up my brain. He was light and free and fast as the fastest trumpet, running through chord changes with the skill of a sprinter and the imagination of a poet. I loved Django because of the joy in his music, the light-hearted feeling and freedom to do whatever he felt, which nicely sums up how B.B. King, the author of that quote, transformed blues guitar.
This book is incredible. Dana, do we have time for a couple of questions?